Hey guys, what's up? So today, welcome to the first ever tier list on this YouTube channel, and we got the Initial D Cars tier list makers. Or Initial D Cars tier list. Shouts to Donor Media for James and Jimmy making their own video, in which I like their predictions were pretty accurate. But for me, let's do my own. So for tiers, I got the best cars, very cool, yeah, very cool cars. Okay, I mean, yeah, okay. Not good, meaning, yeah, not really good. And trash, meaning, well, trash, obviously. So we have about a total of 39 cars on this list, so I'll try to go by each one and see what I think is the best. So yeah, here we go. This is going to be a long list, but let's do this. First up, we have a 1994 Honda NSX. I love the beams in it. I love the car style. I love NSXs in general. Very awesome roadster cars. Very awesome. So for that, very cool. I very like it. Next up, we have this. Let's go, Hojos. This is Kyoko's FD from Initial D 4th stage, and just like KSK is, it's black, very different, but I still like the style of it. Very cool, and the big old battle they had with him in KSK is very cool. So very cool. Next up, we have one of the three Total School cars. This is Daiki Ninuma's Honda Civic EK9. I like EK9s, but the battle with Takumi wasn't really that solid. I mean, it was solid, let's be honest. But the car, it's pretty basic. It's just the EK9, nothing really special to write home about. So that, okay, tier. Next up, we have Bunta Fujiwara's Subaru Impreza GC8 STI. I love his TI kits. I love Imprezas, so don't get me wrong. And for that, the Impreza deserves to go on the best because Imprezas are so awesome and very cool. Next up, we have Kenji's Nissan 1ASX. Nissan 1ASXs are pretty boring in general and not very talented a lot, so for that, I'm just gonna have to put it in. Not good. It wasn't really used much. It doesn't have a real purpose, so I'm sorry. Next up, we have Ryosuke Takahashi's Mazda FC RX-7. Now, the fact with this, Ryosuke comes out of the gate in first stage, and his FC is just wrecking people, known as the White Comet of Akagi, then forming the Red Suns, but then losing to Takami. The final stage, the first stage, very cool. So for that, it's the best. I love an FC. Or actually, I'll just put very cool. It's still a very cool car. I like it. Next up, and then there's this one with the FC, so I'm just gonna put that one in there too. This is the one for fifth stage. We updated for Project D, so yeah. Next up, we have an S15 here from Nissan, and it is very cool. I love the style of it. I love the body kit. Big old wang, very well designed, and for that, I like it. It's very cool. It's the best. I really love that S15. Next up, we have Kai Kadoshiwai's Toyota MRS, the successor to the original MR2, but the style with this and the carbon fiber hood to reduce weight makes it really look well, and I really love the car. But for a little purpose though, it was pretty okay for a while after the battle with Takami. Never really used after that, so I'm just gonna have to put it okay. Next up, we have Hideo Managawa's Toyota Supra, and I'm a big ass Supra fan. I love Supras in general, but the battle didn't really matter that much against KSK. I'm not just judging it by cars, I'm just judging it by, by the anime, how they used it and such. So yeah, for that, it's gonna have to go in okay. It was top, I put it at the top, but for Supras, I'm just gonna have to put it in okay. Next up, we have Takumi Fujiwara's Toyota Sprinter Torino GT Apex, which is a two-door hatchback. And the car was a legendary general. Taught every kid, no matter what car you have, you can race it. If you're good enough driver, you can race people. You can win. So I love this car. Showed a lot in the anime. So for that, it's the best. Next up, we have Shinji Inui's similar Toyota Sprinter Trino 86, but it's a two-door coupe, not a hatchback. It's a very different body style compared to Takumi's here. But he's like, I'm the young hotshot kid at 15 years old compared to Takumi, who was 18 or like 19 during the Project D days. But similar, I'm just gonna put it in okay. It's not as good as Takumi. It's not very well known, but still okay. Next up, we have Shingo Shoji's Honda Civic EG6 and hatchback, and the fact that he drives with the Night Kids and produces the Gumte Death Match is very cool and iconic, and for that, but for the car itself, I'm not really big on E6s, so I'm just gonna put okay. Next up from fifth stage, we have Kobe Waka's Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 7, and they're supposed to be a different Evo on here, but it's the same Evo, so I'll just display a picture of it in the video later on. But for now, we have this Evo 7, and I love the CUS kit on it. Very cool body style. I love Evo 7s for that, but a very cool, pretty unique battle too. Next up, we have Ikitani's Nissan Sylvia S13. I love an S13 ever since I got to drive on it in one of the arcade games, Initial D. S13s in general are pretty relaxed. They're pretty well done, especially with the body kit on this one. They put pretty good ties, and plus the green line tone on the color. It's pretty awesome. I like it. So for that, this one will also go as a very cool car, very classic. Next up, Ken Kodoshiwai, which is Kai Kodoshiwai's dad. We have Ken Kodoshiwai's Toyota MR2. This is the predecessor. Predecessor. I can't spell. A predecessor to the MRS. The MR2 I very much enjoy and love better than the MRS because it's a big old MR style body. You know, it's mid-rear engine style. I love those kind of cars. Similar to the NSX. Very big in the third, battle with Takumi in the third stage where he crashed. Well, he spun and lost the race. But for the car, purplish bluish tone color, I love it. Similar with that car right there, but I love it. So for that, very cool. I really love an MR2. Next up, we have Evo 5. Well, it's an Evo 6 in this picture, but I'll show you an Evo 5 right here. That's an Evo 5. Iwaka's Evo 5. This is one of the two members of the Trash Evo team in the initial D4 stage where they spill water or oil on the track and they crashed Keisuke's car there. So those guys are dicks. But for the Evo 6s and for this Evo 5, I'm gonna show right here. Again, boom. Evo 5s are pretty cool. I love when Tommy Mackinnon drove it at WRC. So I think it's a very cool Evo. I love the Evo 5. Next up, we have Satoshi Omiya's Monster Roadster RS, and I love the one in fifth stage. Very cool kit, body style, big old wang, very professional. Well, it's not very professional, but he's a professional driver. Held up well against Takumi. The only reason why he lost is because he broke his wing at the end of the race in the fifth stage. But for the car itself, I love the color and the wheels. Very awesome. I love driving. I almost drove all these cars in the arcades, like on like PC, or emulate it. So for that, the car is very cool. I like that kind of roadster. Next up, we have Keisuke Takahashi's Mazda FD RX-7. Similar with the FC, this is his brother's FD Mazda. Almost a lot of horsepower, rotary engine, and Keisuke knows how to drive that FD so well. It's so awesome. Especially with Project again, there's the other one there with the carbon fiber hood and the wheels, and yeah. And for that, very cool car. I love the FD. I probably put it over the FC in my opinion. So let's see, one, and there's the regular version and the Project D version right there. So yeah, I just think FDs are better than FCs in general. Next up, Itsuki's Toyota AE8511. The disappointing story is that he thought he was buying an 86 like Takumi's, or by water is later on. But turns out it was a carbon engine, and it was an 85, so only 85 horsepower. Not a very cool car in general. I love the character, but the car is not cool, so that's gonna have to go in trash. So I'm sorry, it's just not a very cool car. Not very modded, just garbage in general. No disrespect to Itsuki, but his car is just not competitive. Anyways, now we have, I forgot this character's name. I'll just leave it. And if you're watching this, just look at the link. But then we got this guy's Nissan Skyline ER34. It's like the GR34, but it's affordable and less, heavyweight, less power GTR. But it's got IC beams, it's laid back. It's not very competitive compared to the GR34, but it's not bad at all. It's not a bad car at all. It's very cool. I like the color of it. I love the style. It's kind of heavier, kind of turns less actually, but it's still an okay car. So for that, I'm gonna put it okay. It's okay. Now we have Godfoot's. Then we have Godfoot's. His name's Godfoot. I don't know his real name, but this is Godfoot's Nissan Skyline GT R34. This boy can drift an R34 somehow, even besides the size. He told us on the show he has an R32 and R33, but they traded that for another R32. But now he has the R34, and he goes head to head with Keisuke, and he almost wins, but he gets passed at the sunburned by Keisuke in that episode of Initial D. But I'm a big GTR fanboy. I love GTRs. And for the R34, I have to put it the best. I just love GTRs. Next up, though, we have Kenta's S14. It's not a very good car at all. This is the Q model, and it's pretty like it's old. It's like an older model, like an old Dodge Intrepid, compared to like K's model, which is a more race car-ish model. I'm just sorry, it's not a very good car at all. But it's not trash compared to XD's A5. I will put it not good though. I'm sorry. He wasn't very competitive that much in the rain battle with Takumi anyway, so I'm sorry. Next up, we have Mickey Celica GT4 or GT, yeah, GT4 from third stage. They didn't really race in this car. He was just running. The guy was driving this car. He had to, it was sexually harassing Takumi's best friend. Well, not friend, Natsuki. And they chased after a while. He crashed. Takumi saved her. That was the same guy. Fun fact: that was the same guy who he punched in first stage after all those seasons. So yeah. But for the car, I like Celica. I didn't like Celicas before, but I like Celicas, a couple months ago. It was like probably June, July, I'm not sure. But I love Celicas, and they're pretty okay. So good goes there. I love it's black in the series, but it's white in the it's like grayish color in the anime. I don't know why. But okay. Next up, we have Koichi Sudo's Mitsubishi Lancer 03. The fact that this big has a lot of points because he beat Takumi because Takumi blew his engine in second stage. And when they had that rematch in third stage and Takumi won, it was pretty big. But for the car itself, the misfiring system, the body style, it's so badass. I love an Evo 3. After that, it is a very cool car. Very big in the story of Initial D, and it deserves to be on this list. Next up, we have Sakamoto Suzuki Cappuccino from 4th stage. The guy being a rally driver knows how to drive that thing. The only thing good about the car is the front, but besides that, the body and everything else not really that much interesting. So it was very cool once in a while, but I'm just gonna say it's not good. Suzuki's in general are just didn't really play out that much. I'm sorry, but it's just not a contender. Next up is a contender though. We have Takashi Nakazato's Nissan Skyline R32 is a beast, and I'm going to tell you why. Even though he has the ABS system on, he knows how to drive the R32. Big a horsepower, like 350, knows how to compete against Takumi. The only reason why he lost is because his tires went down when he tried sprinting. When Takumi passed him, he crashed out of the race. But besides that car, I love GTR 32s. They're very awesome. Knows how to drive that thing so freaking well. I love it. So for that, it's gonna have to go in the best. I love the R32. Next up, we have Toru's Mazda Miata Roadster, the original Miata, not the one. That's the second or third generation. That's just the later generation of Miata. But this is the first generation, I think, of Miata. Toru is a guy who is from the Sunstar Leaf team. Tries to beat Takumi. It was pretty close in a while when Takumi tried a gutter move, and then when he tried it, he ended up flipping his car over and lost. Luckily, he wasn't severely hurt from the thing, but his car certainly was, so unfortunately. But I do love the pop-up headlights, even though some people may call it a bar of soap. It's a very interesting car, but it's not like very good level, but it's a very okay level. Just get that. But yeah, for that I'm just gonna put it okay. It's a very, very interesting car. Next up, we have this is remember God Foot with the R34. Well, now introducing God Hand, Dr. Toshio Miya's Honda AP1 S2000. The fact with the S2000 is very cool. IT beams. I love the body style, the big old wing. And the fact that he only drives with one hand is very cool. And similar with Shingo in his EG6 with the gum tape deathmatch, he only drives with one hand. He's just natural. He doesn't need to tape his hand. But it's very cool. I love the purplish bluish color scheme and the battle they had. It's a very cool car. And eventually, because every day when I'm at school, I keep seeing an S2000, which is very awesome because I love that kind of car. So for that, it's really well deserved. I love an S2000. It's very good on that level. Next up, we have Wateru's Toyota 11 AE86. It's not Takumi's. It's a different model, so it's called 11. So on the difference, there's solid pop-up headlights on Takumi's Tornado, but this is a solid brick headlight model on Water 11. But it's turbocharged, and he has a TRD wing on it. Very cool customization for 11, and almost for an old car as a Corolla like this. So for that, I gotta give him credit. It's a very cool modification of an 86. I love it. Next up, we have Seiji Iwaka's Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 4. This is the same Emperor team with Koichi Suda being the leader and his teammate, Seiji Iwaka. One of my favorite things about this is that whenever their team would win, uh, they would take the other team's sticker, cut it, and put it upside down on the Evo's 4 wing like the Japanese fighter pilot. It's so badass. I love it. And for that, being the WRC, I love Evo 4s as well as the other Evo families. So, but besides Evo, almost everybody who drove an Evo in the series is a asshole. But besides that, I love Evo 4s. Very cool. Put in very good. It's a very unique car. Next up is a big part of the series, though. This is Makosato and Sayuki's, well, Makosato's in general, but this is the Nissan Sil 80, and the interesting part is it's a mix of a 1day SX and an S13. It's the front of an S13, but the back of a 1day SX. It's not in the general public release. It was mixed only for the anime, I believe, and it was very used in love with it. Impact Blue team met Takumi, almost beat them, but they lost still because Takumi is unbeatable. Well, not really, but still, though, I love the car, Impact Blue color scheme, the Wrecking Fools, the only female drivers in Initial D, which is very unique, and I love the idea of it, so I'm going to put this in very cool. I like that car. Next up, we have the 2/3 of the Total Racing School cars. This is Smiley Sakai's 1998 Honda Integra Type R. A very cool car, very cool. I love the Integras. I know the Acuras with the roundish headlights in America, but this is the solid brick ones from Japanese Honda. Very cool car, carbon fiber hood, can't go wrong there, and the body style, battle with K-Scale was just amazing. So that one, I guess it's okay, but it's not like, I do like the car. I say it's very cool, it's okay, but in reality, it's okay. It's not really that big compared to the other ones. 5 cars left, and now we have the spoon-tuned Honda Civic EK9 that Tomoyuki drove during his time in 4-stage when he went against Takumi, and he almost won. He only stopped on track because he saw some of the road, so he backed up, and that led Takumi doing his blind attack and winning the race. But still, besides that, very cool car. I love the carbon fiber hood, big old Wayne, produced by Spoon. It's spoon-tuned, so it's very awesome. Vehicle companies are better than Spoon at tuning cars, and for that, I love this kind of car. Just for that, I'm going to put it the best. I love this kind of EK9. Next up, we have Rin Hojo's, who is the brother of Go Hojo. This is Rin Hojo's Nissan Skyline GT R32. So it's like Takashi's, but a different color scheme. 650 horsepower instead of 350. A 10-story with a background with a girlfriend killing herself, and this guy's our revenge. The driver, pretty weird. He's got long hair. But yeah, he tries to kill Ryosuke during the race, but luckily that didn't happen. You realize he just calmed down after the race. But besides that, very cool car. Again, I love GTR 13s, but I'm just going to put him. It's very cool, but it's not compared to the Night Kids version. I like the Night Kids version better than that. Next up, this is the Evo 6 as the teammate of that crappy Evo 5 right there. So that's horrible. And I hate that team. They're such assholes trying to lose the other team. And they quote, this guy said, "Oh, if you win the race, I might have to beat you up." And they tried sending a game member after the race, but luckily they turned on them and attacked those 2 dickheads instead. But for the Evo 6, I like it better than Evo 5, so I'm just going to put it at very, very cool. I like the Evo 6 a lot. 2 final cars now. We have Ryuji Iga's Nissan Fairlady Z33. Now this is another big part of, well, not really big, but very interesting part of 5th stage. It's a high-tech car, which is very awesome. Very cool, stylish body kit. Love the wing. It's very, very stylish. I would definitely, if I could pick any one of these cars, I would definitely pick the Fairlady Z. So I would definitely get that. For that, the high-tech car, it's very awesome for the Nissan family. Also gonna go with, I'm just gonna, oh, sorry. I'm just gonna put this at, I'm just gonna leave it very good. A lot of cars are very good, but Then finally, the final car. This is Nobioko's, who was the cousin of Wataru in the 86. This is Wataru's Toyota Altezza RS200. Now, before I watched this, Altezzas to me were really interesting ever since I kept seeing them on Gran Turismo and stuff. But heavily modded with TRD stuff. You can't go wrong with TRD. Not a very good driver, but he is very smart and got in his team. And for that, I like the car. It's very stylish, four-door, very interesting. It wasn't a long battle with Takumi, but that's okay. But for that, I'm just going to put it's an okay car. It's very cool. And for that, guys, you see, I have my own initial D tier list. So if you agree or disagree with my suggestions in the video, let me know in the comments below. And for that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. And also, before I go, I have more of these lined up. So if you want to see more, again, hit the comments below, and I'll do more. So for that, thanks guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.